Yeah, buddy, it's that time for Never a Foul, and it's that time for another week of a Liverpool show. It's the episode 3 of it all. Obviously, if you was here last week, you would have seen that it was a bit of a Man United v Liverpool reaction. Ash was a little bit down, do you know what I mean? You can see it by his face, but we'll see if it's even more down when you hear that they're not going to get no transfers. They're not getting no transfers. They're broke. They are broke. But long now, I'm joking. But yeah, man, we're going to be joined today, obviously, not by Mons. He's not hosting it today. We've got another host. So they'll be swapping around roles. Be nice. But long story short, we're going to have Ash on today, as you know, from Klopp Zone, keeping it G, who's going to be the host, though. And obviously, what Jerry James shows doing very well for himself on his own YouTube channel. Big up him. He'll be here a little bit later alongside Roms from LFC Saint TV, who was at Carnival. I hope anyone that went Carnival yesterday, hopefully your neck didn't get bruck up by the bus stop. But other than that, stay safe if you're going to get Carnival, go Carnival next year. Obviously, there's a few of you in here today. There's quite a few of you in here. It's nice to see. If you have, obviously, I appreciate just doing a little bit of an experiment, but please do like the video if you haven't. I'm pretty sure a few of you already have. Big up you, man, in the building. Over 50, there's 58 likes. Can we get that to 100 real quick? Big up Arslan in the building as well with a fire emoji. Griggs Talks, Josh Smith, Godson 1982. What's the 1982 with a question mark? Did something happen on that day? As well, Ladimus in the building says no thank you to FSG for not splashing the cash and making smart signing, as well as making you the best team in Premier League history. No fairs then. Big up Sid, Ilias as well, bigger. He's saying FSG out as well. Please comment on the post. They say I put a post up. It's got FSG. It's either in or you're out. It's as simple as that. But I think we're gonna dive into that a little bit more as well. I'm pretty sure there's some strong opinions, and maybe some people that are for them. I don't know. Yusuf as well. I reckon we'll be see signings in January. I'd be surprised if we don't get anyone in January. Big up Zohaib, big up Daps as well. Haaland, Tick, Akanji, rubbing it in with Bellingham. Do they get him? Do you not get him? I don't know. There's bare of you in here today. Wow, man. I love that, man. Zohaib as well. Bailey, big up Bailey as well. Another, obviously, as you can see, he's a Liverpool fan. I'm FSG in. However, how do we not know? Wait, am I dyslexic today? However, how do we not know Klopp don't want these players? Klopp could have some part in this too. I'm telling you now, CG, yeah, it will be onto him. I promise you that now. It will dive right into there. Promise you that. Obviously, Gunben in the building, another Liverpool fan as well. Big up you, Pacman. Who else is in here? Wow. Hamady as well. We are finished. Nick Knack as well. Fuck FSG. Guna Bell. It's already started, man. It's already started. I pick up anyone that isn't here as well, man. 6 UCL winners. Hashtag FSG out. But further ado, Roms and also Jerry will be in a little bit later. Again, I will have to remind you to smash the likes as well. But first and foremost, I'm going to have to bring in the co-host for today. Oh, no, sorry. I'm not hosting. He's hosting. I'm going to just sit back and just be a neutral fan. Okay. We got Glazers, you got FSG, but I'd rather have FSG at this rate. Of course, all day long. But they're both Americans. Get them both out. Big up this guy. Now, you know him if he's been on here. It was on here 2 weeks ago. I think he made his Never a Foul debut then. But he's going to be doing the hosting today only because him and Mons, I would say, like, I'm not saying anybody else in the Liverpool crew that we got going on around here, but they like to indulge into conversations that some people are afraid to have because everyone's up in their own doolally little world. So he's here respectfully and rightfully so. So big up him, be nice to him, big up G.
What's going on, bro? You good?
Yeah, man, obviously good. Always good, alhamdulillah, man. So what we saying? Rubbing your hands, got a lot to talk about today.
Oh, bro, after Jurgen Klopp's press conference, we've got a lot to talk about this evening. Trust me, we've got a lot to
damn. I didn't even hear, but I didn't hear no
I made sure I made sure.
Oh, you listen. You got direct quotes. I'll say that. And if you need anything to share, I can bring you up, man. Just let me know. Next person, though, without further ado, guy from Klopp Zone. You should already know about his absolute talents when it comes to graphic design. Wearing his cap nice and backwards today with the white as well. You know, maybe you're going to score another 9 goals past Newcastle without saying Matsman and Bruno in the side. It's just written in the stars, isn't it? But again, another passionate Liverpool fan, all the way up from Wigan, is a man like Ash.
How we doing, guys? You all good?
We're all jiggy,
yeah,
brother.
man. Always
How can
good.
you not be
Always
good? 9-0. Like, It's put a smile on my face this week. I was a bit glum last week, innit, Kaz? But today, a little bit happier. We'll
All the excuses are coming out.
After Klopp's press conference.
Hussein's finally running that space. It's a Tuesday, he's running that space. That's what I say, you better run that space. Yeah. Just saying, innit? But yeah, man, I big up anyone that's in here, man. They're all saying big up G. Kevin Powan as well, saying big up G. Nick Knack as well. But yeah, man, Ravi saying without FSG, we would have sold Anfield. And Ravi, I didn't know you was a Liverpool fan all this time. I thought he was a United or Arsenal fan or something. I never.
Big up Ravi, big up Ravi.
So, G, man, obviously take it away. However you want to start it, be my guest. You can dive straight in, or you can like warm it up. Up to you, man. The show's yours.
To be honest with you, there's only really one place to start today. Obviously, we've had Jurgen Klopp's press conference ahead of the game against Newcastle tomorrow. Now, we already know Jurgen Klopp's press conferences, they've gotten better and better as the summer's kind of gone on, if I'm being honest with you. We've heard little bits, little snippets, and we've only been able to get little tractions from him. But there was a quote that he put out that I wanted to start off with. And Ash, when you hear this, just let me know what you're thinking. We became champions in a season where we didn't sign anyone. That wasn't the most famous approach after coming second. We do have an existing team as well. When you hear that, what's the first thing that runs through your mind?
It's like smoke screen time. Smoke screen time. Like, we're not going to get any signings, so be ready for it. But we can still win the league because we've done it before, so maybe we can do it again. It's like everything's deflecting now. And it upsets me, G, because off the back of a 9-0, if we signed a player, I'm so happy. I'm like, right, the wheels are back on. But again, we've got this smoke screen thing going on where it's all kind of, it's these questions and these little riddles that he keeps planting so he can kind of dodge not signing a player. No one's coming in, G. It's a fact. Nobody's coming in.
So obviously, I 100% agree with you. I've already said this from the jump. I don't think we're signing anybody. I don't think that Liverpool or Klopp would want to wait till the last couple of days to be able to sign players. We like to do our business, obviously, from early, as we saw with Núñez, Fabio Carvalho, pre-contract. These deals are always done early. So we're not really a club who likes to do things late. But go on.
What was actually said in what's it called, the Klopp conference anyways? Like, is there any like direct quotes that people like myself, like what has he actually said that makes you feel like you're not even going to get a signing? Has he said something else this time around?
Oh, we're going to get into that. We're going to dive into that in a bit. There was a lot of, he even mentioned social media as well. Don't worry, we'll dive into that. But it's like, even touching on Ash on your point there, at the beginning of the summer, now hearing all the names that we've been linked to, some not real, some real potentially, we never know with Liverpool. With the names that we've been linked to, are any of them players that you would have felt we would have signed or you would have liked for us to sign at the beginning of the window? Or are the names that are being linked anyway? Are there more names that, because we're in this desperate situation, it's kind of a 6 of one, half a dozen of the other?
Tchouaméni was the one. Tchouaméni or nothing else. Like, he was the one we wanted. He chose Real Madrid. Who else did we want? Matheus Núñez. He chose Wolves. Who else did we want? Paqueta. He chose West Ham. Everybody seems to be choosing all these clubs aside from Liverpool. But look at what's happening, G. It's like the proof's in the pudding. We were asking for a midfielder. What did Liverpool do? They did the Mo Salah porn video where the announcement is like signing. Then what was next? Harvey Elliott, number 19. So we'd stop talking again. I'm telling you what's coming next, G. Naby Keita, new contract.
Now you'll catch me outside Anfield. You'll catch me outside Anfield real quick if we hear a Naby Keita contract extension. I'm not even trying to hear
what's wrong with Naby Keita?
Bro, Kaz, listen, when you signed a player 5 years, is it 5 years now, Ash? I think, yeah,
You actually really did get him that long ago. Wow.
Bro, exactly. So we're talking 5 years ago. Now, Kaz, you tell me, name me one good performance that you've seen. Now, you might have not seen him a lot anyway, but just name one performance that you've seen to say.
Yeah, I'll tell you one.
Not the Man United one.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know.
Exactly. And you got to realize, listen, he's had, I'm not going to sit here and lie and tell you he's had no moments, obviously, playing for Liverpool. Of course he has. He's had probably, I can count on one hand, maybe about 4 since he's been at this club. So that's less than the amount of time that he's actually even been here. So you're talking about, what, 1 a season? That's not good enough, bro. That is not good enough for a player that we invested quite heavily in. for a team who doesn't even like to spend money, 50 million on a central midfielder.
Yeah.
We haven't seen anything from this player. So when it comes to players like Naby Keita, I'm really, really tired, and I'm really at the point now where you're seeing John Aldridge. He's even come out to say, if I was Liverpool and I was Klopp, I would sell him. I would sell him now in the summer, get some money for him, and we can use that.
Even all the loyal old guard are coming out and they're hating us. You know something's wrong when John Aldridge, who's being financed by the club for being a commentator, is coming out and saying we need somebody. Like, it doesn't look good. Let me ask you: do you think it's Klopp or FSG? Do you think
it's got to be FSG, bro?
You know what? You know what? I'm gonna fire that back at you because I had a question. Let me fire it back at you. Is it either Klopp, FSG, or are the fans' expectations too high? Now, this is something that we've been fighting with people online and stuff like that. Calling us, shall we say, bottom reds? We'll use that term just for today. So obviously they think that just because we want to spend money, a little bit of money to kind of improve and reinvest in the squad, they feel that we are going over the top. What do you think it is, bro? Me personally, I think as a neutral. Yeah, as a neutral. All
right, cool. So if I'm thinking, Liverpool fans have every single right to have high expectations, every single right, because you've been on top for a long time and competing for a long time. And we're not talking 10 points, we're talking minimal points. I said it before, innit? As a neutral, looking at it from the outside, it's like, bro, like Liverpool every single season have missed out on one player. Always one player just to make it go from here to there, bro. Like, do you get what I mean? Just that little one player could have got you the quadruple last year. No joke. They could have. That 1 point could have turned into 3-4 points. That one player that you could have got would have won you maybe the Champions League. That one player might have got you, I don't know, won you the other cups. We never know. But I just feel like, it's repeat. Now you're seeing the repetition of what it is. I feel like every fan has every right of Liverpool. I hate saying this, but like,
say it, bro.
You deserve more. I would say you deserve more. You deserve more, but the same because of what you've been doing. But at the same time, I'm loving it. But at the same time, it's at the same time as well. Liverpool fans can be deluded and get sucked into the delusion of it. FSG are at fault, but I feel like Klopp has got a lot more power than he thinks. And I feel like if he came out and said we need players and put some pressure on the board, then they would have done it. But because he feels like I feel like he thinks he can do everything.
Yeah. But then this. He came out last week to say he's wrong. We are right. He's wrong and we are right. We do need midfielders. We've also had Virgil van Dijk come out in the last couple of days. And he's also said he feels that we do need more midfielders because of the way that the team plays, because of the style that Jurgen Klopp wants to implement in this squad. So you've now got manager and one of the leading players, shall we say, in the team, one of the captains, shall we say, of the team, who's now come out himself to say the same thing. Kaz, we are 2 days out of the transfer window ending. It is Tuesday. It ends on Thursday. During Jurgen Klopp's press conference today, he didn't even know when the transfer window ended. That was already an alarm bell. When the reporter asked him about whether or not he felt we're going to get any signings, he said, I mean, as we get closer towards the ending of the window, it's getting unlikely and unlikelier that we're going to sign anybody. When does the window even end? Brother,
I get what you're saying. But the thing is with this Pac-Man, it's like you always get, in my opinion, their target, pretty much get their targets. If not, they always have a target to go grab. Liverpool, I can say, they deserve it, obviously, but at the same time, they deserve more as a fan base because they've been up there. And this is me talking as a neutral now, not on a side where I'm going to start bannering you, man, innit? Because I can't really ban it because look at my shit show of a team. But just from that neutral perspective, they do kind of deserve more in terms of the success they have brought in, which could have been even more. Do you get what I mean? So it's a bit like, I agree. Captain Sal is like, Klopp's a bit of a yes man, and I feel like he's a bit of a yes man. And it's like, please, sir, can I have some more 3-4 more? Like, come on, man, like Oliver Twist and that. But but it's just, it's mad how many centre mids I can go through that you've missed this year. Like, honestly, that you've also been linked with. Like, people are scrambling. I've got evidence of, and Ash was there. got evidence of Hussam saying he will take McTominay at this rate. He thinks Tielemans, like respect to Hussam, by the way, I love the guy. Like honestly, respect to Hussam. But he said Tielemans is not the brother for you. I'm telling you that now. Like, Ash, jump in if you feel free. Tielemans can't press for 90 minutes, bro. He gasses out. He's not the guy. True. He's just available. Like, he's just available. That's a panic signing.
We know really as a fan base that Tielemans isn't the guy, but we just need somebody in it.
But
like you look at Tielemans, G, and then you look at who we've got to back up. Curtis Jones, Keita, Oxlade-Chamberlain. These players aren't up to the level. And you know how much I like Curtis Jones, but they're not used the right way. Tielemans is a step up from them in our system, but he's still not good enough to take a spot off Jordan Henderson. We need somebody who's going to come in and challenge. Like, you're telling me Calvin Phillips is going to start challenging. When Rodri needs a rest, Calvin Phillips will just slot straight in. Bernardo Silva, when he goes out, who comes in? Gundogan, Bernardo Silva, Foden. They've got players that just slot in perfectly. Liverpool don't. The drop-off in class is evident. As soon as our starting 11 are injured, you can just see the drop-off in class. And we're just asking for somebody to come in. And that's what's embarrassing. We're just asking for anyone right now. Sander Berg and Caicedo. We should never be linked with these players.
You could get both of them if you really, but Caicedo should be linked to him. But I think he could do. I reckon he'd be big for you, man. Sander Berg, I don't know. I like the player, but I don't think he's the profile for you, man. Exactly. Laimer's not coming. He's already staying. He's already come out. Milinkovic-Savic ain't going no way. He's staying. Tielemans, who knows? Who's next? Who's next? Who's another centre mid?
Frankie de Jong. That's never happening.
Frankie de Jong, that's not happening. Bro, you know how long that will take to do in the next 2 days? People do not understand. The next day it's not happening. 2 days to sort it out. Not happening. Neves ain't going nowhere. That midfield that Wolves have got is elite. They just got 40 million for Morgan Gibbs White in total.
Come on, bro. Come on, that's a lot.
That paid for Nunes. Now they got Coutinho, Neves. That is pretty much one of the most balanced midfield in the whole entire Premier League.
What worries me though, Kaz, is Paqueta's just gone to West Ham, but the rumours were Liverpool tried to kind of hijack the deal and get Paqueta in at Liverpool, but he's just gone, no, I want to go to West Ham. That worries me more than anything, that players are looking at Liverpool now and thinking, do I want to go there? Nunes went to Wolves, Tchouaméni went to Real Madrid. People don't want to come, and I don't know why, G. Like, it's mad.
Well, if you get that man, I'll cry. I'm not joking. This is who I want in my centre minutes to Casemiro, 25, 30 minutes. See this man there, Kouadio Kone. I'm telling you now. If you get him, bro, imagine Ndombele with legs and energy, bro.
Yeah.
Mad.
The thing is, even look, Ash, you just reeled off a whole bunch of City players. Now, everyone always complains that we are always using City as a reference. People need to understand one thing. We use City as a reference because that's the team that we're battling with. We can't use any other team as a reference. We can't say, look at Arsenal's midfield, look at Tottenham's, look at United's, we're not battling with them. We're battling with Manchester City. So when we keep using them, yes, we understand that, yeah, of course, they've got this wealth of finances that they can obviously use within the transfer market. We get that and we understand that. But if we're a team who, with our current model, are only a point or two off of them season after season, barring the season that we finished third behind United, we seem to only be a point behind them. Surely there's clear room for improvement. Surely even the toppest of top red would be able to understand there must be a little bit of room for improvement, because we're only 1 point behind them. We're not, as Kaz said, we're not 10 points. We're not 15 points behind these guys. We're literally a point. Now, I'm not sitting here as a Liverpool fan and I'm not telling you that, you know what, if we sign Bellingham, if we sign Frankie de Jong, and you know what, throw in Tielemans just for the sake of it, I'm not saying that we're going to go and win the league. But you know what that does? It shows intent, and it shows that you're willing to do what you possibly can within your power to improve the team and get us to that level where we're not sitting here 1 point behind them, 2 points, one game. I'm sick of it. We've got to that point where now we're sick of it. And as you said, if people like John Aldridge are even coming out talking about ex-players, Van Dijk has come out to talk about...
Hell, I'll take John Aldridge right now, G. Bring John Aldridge in to back up Bobby Firmino, because we need somebody.
Jay Spearing.
No.
Oh, my days.
No. No. Don't even joke. I'm not even joking. I don't even want to see someone of like a Jay Spearing. And even Klopp, listen, Klopp's not stupid, and Liverpool Football Club are also not stupid. They see what we're saying on social media. certain individuals. They're seeing what's happening on social media. And he even referenced it when he says, our supporters who are pretty active on social media and stuff like this, once the window is done, they can just stop doing that because we have a good football team. We have injuries, but they can't expect us to just go out there and sign players whenever we want.
That basically says we're not getting anyone in it. That basically says we're not getting anybody. Just shut up, accept the squad we've got, support the team. Like, it's embarrassing, and I find it patronizing a little bit. Like,
thank you.
Klopp doing this, it is patronizing. I don't know if it's Klopp or I don't know if it's him kind of trying to save his own skin a little bit and trying to make us think it's FSG. I don't know what it is, but there's so much going on behind the scenes that we don't know about. Why would Van Dijk come out and say something? Why would Aldridge? Why is Klopp giving us all these riddles? Why are FSG giving the thumbs up to the fans? Like, yeah, Naby Keita, new contract, yeah. Like, it's just I don't get what's going on.
As I always say, bro, it's that catch-22, and this is where I will give Klopp a little, and I do mean a very, very, very little leeway. He's stuck between a rock and a hard place. I feel he does understand that we do need a midfielder. That part I do think is clear now. He understands that we need it. Obviously, he also understands how FSG work. He understands the model. He understands everything about FSG. He's done it. He's worked under that policy. He signed a new deal under FSG's policy, a new deal. So he understands what is going on. The problem is that, as someone mentioned before, he's turning into a bit of a yes man, in my personal opinion. That's just my opinion only, because you cannot keep coming out in every single press conference and either dismissing the question whether or not we need a midfielder, and when you finally do admit that we need a midfielder, you're making it into this whole episode now. It's a whole thing. It's a whole theater now.
I got a feeling you're gonna. I think his name's Bietic. I think because of his involvement a little bit more, I reckon he's gonna be coming into the first team because he's.
I rate Bajcetic though. I rate Bajcetic, great young player. And if you're not gonna sign anyone, bun Milner. I don't want to see Milner coming in anymore. Play Bajcetic, innit? Like, just take Fabinho out. Play Bajcetic. Play Elliott.
Is he a 6 or is he an 8 or both?
He's a 6.
He's a bit of a playmaker. He's like a playmaker. So he's a whole different role from Fabinho then.
Exactly. No, he's more of a 6. He's more like... It is different. Fabinho's the lighthouse in it. He's the street sweeper, I call him, and he cleans everything up.
So currently...
Bajcetic is a clever player, but he can play that 6. He fits that kind of Rodri mold a little bit. He's not an attacking player. He's not going to get goals for us. I'll tell you.
Well, it sounds like you're better. You might need a tweak in the system. Maybe a Bietic, Fabinho, and then maybe a Carvalho in front. Maybe that sounds like a much more controlling three.
But the only thing is, the point right there. Or even going back, we've literally all the players that you named when you said Frankie De Jong and all these other players that you named. Please tell me which player is exactly the same as the last player that you named.
No,
none of them. None of them are the same.
Profile. It's like we're making things up as we go along, isn't it, G? It's like we look at, they type in football critics, top 50 central midfielders in the world, and then they go, right, yeah, let's look at him. Right, instead of going, right, this is the profile of player we need. We need a defensive midfielder. We need someone who can keep possession, someone who's strong on the ball, can cover. We've not got a profile of player. And that's what worries me most. It's like we're just making it up as we go along.
And but this is
in answer to what you said before, G, about Klopp being a yes man, when's he ever clapped back? When's Klopp ever not being a yes man? Have you ever known Klopp to come out and openly disagree with something that's been going on, apart from maybe the fixture list and moan about that? But that's another excuse.
That's for the Premier League, not FSG.
Always an excuse for that man. He's always got excuses, but he can never just take some self-criticism.
Mm-hmm.
This is the problem with Klopp. And now I think what's happening now is slowly. I'm not speaking for anybody, by the way. I saw a few people in the comments and I can see them saying, a couple of them were like FSG in, FSG out, Klopp in, Klopp out. I get all of that. But the reality is, first of all, I'm not going to say Klopp in or Klopp out. I'm just here for Liverpool. That's how I support Liverpool. I'm here to support Liverpool and Liverpool only. But the problem that you're now finding is all the excuses, all of the riddles in the press conferences, the lack of signings, the lack of investment, the lack of really winning as much as we feel we should or could be winning, it's now starting to wane on Liverpool supporters. They don't care about any of this shit anymore. Excuse my language. They don't care about that anymore.
Do you know what it is, G? I'm sorry, Kaz. I'm
What?
Klopping. I'm FSG.
Yeah,
FSG have done so much for the football club. They got us out of debt. They've built something.
Stop. Is that then one of the reasons why we have this sentimental feeling?
100%. And this is why we're giving them the benefit of the doubt. And they are showing that they're building a good infrastructure behind the scenes in terms of your stadium, the training facility. Everything is amazing at Liverpool in that sense. With Klopp can build a team. He's built a winning team. He's got us from the dregs all the way up to the top. So I'm always going to be FSG in, always going to be Klopp in. But the fact is, why don't they just back us just that little bit? If you just back us now, that's it. You've done a perfect job. But they're not doing, and that's where we're going to struggle. We're never going to get a time like this to achieve what we could potentially achieve. And it's all going to be because FSG didn't give us the backing.
Can Klopp successfully rebuild a team, which he has never done, by the way? Never rebuilt a team. He's always built a team, but never rebuilt a team. And I don't think FSG helped him either. Like, I don't get me wrong. You've had FSG since when? 2010. 2010. Bro, it's been 12 years. We've had Glazers for 17 years. You've had it for 12 years. You've done a successful period. Now it's time to go. And that's my opinion. I think it's time to go. You can't show intent that you want to do something, go further. It's time to go. Why can you not aim for yourselves as a club to strive for even more because of a sentimental thing?
Thank you. This is the problem. This is what the top Reds have been banging on about. And even forget even that term, because that's a stupid term. But even other Liverpool fans are saying the exact same thing. Why is it during conversations it is always referred back? Why do we always talk about pre-Klopp? Yeah, before Klopp we were like this. So because now Klopp's done this and he's won one title since he's been here and one Champions League since he's been here, that we must love him to the end. For me, football doesn't work like that. Football,
you know what? Another thing is,
one sec. I vag. Stay in, my guy, man. Stay in and keep subbing, bro. Like, stay in the building, man. Everyone's welcome here. I'll get your question. Obviously, I'll pop stuff up as well. Usman, sorry to pop you in here. First and foremost, make sure you're liking the video. I don't know how many likes we got. We're 6 away from 100, and there's 100 people in there. Ratio, gang it up. Also, the guy that is, I'm got a feeling Roms is asleep slightly. He went carny, but the guy we're going to bring in likes to talk sense. I see him nearly dipping into it yesterday on the terrace, but he said, I'm not going to go there. But now he can go there. As again, all the channels are in the description below and the socials. Go check out Jerry James Show. Go check out Klopp Zone. Press more. When you see the description, press more and you'll find them. Go give them a follow. But big up JJ. He's here. Nice and direct here. What do you man think of this comment then? Like as well, you G. Was it Ash? Sorry, he says I think FSG might sell once they finish the stadium off.
Yeah.
First of all, JJ, have you been golfing? That's like a golf shirt.
Yeah,
you've been doing the rounds.
Can I say, man? Just making a big bucks, making it. Football's annoying me so much. I have to have my attention to. Bring out my inner Tiger Woods.
Wow.
Hey, you don't want to be like Tiger Woods, man. He's a problem.
You got to sacrifice one problem for another, bro. You can't eliminate all problems, innit?
Going back to FSG, right?
Should we just be accepting
FSG just because the Cronkies and the Glazers are doing such a bad job? I feel like that's what everyone is saying. Be appreciative, be grateful. When let's judge them off what they're actually doing for our club. Let's not compare them to somebody else. Judge them for what they're doing. And right now, they're not doing a good job for Liverpool. Yes, I've said I'm still FSG in, but they need to show us the intent. If we want to stay at the top, they've got to show us some intent. And right now, I don't know about you, JJ, but they're not showing any intent whatsoever.
Who FSG?
Yeah.
Any of them.
The club itself doesn't show any intent, man. It's just everyone. It's everyone. It's the dinner ladies. Dishing out the same food every week. It's everyone. It's everyone. It's a whole package. The way I see it is when you look at it, look, FSG. There's nothing you're gonna do. Just like the Glazers. Like, I appreciate all the protests and stuff, but there's nothing you're gonna do to get them out. There's nothing. If the amount of money they've put in, the amount of money that it generates, you've seen it with the Cronkies, with the LA Rams, and with Arsenal. Arsenal were protesting like mad. You're never going to change anything. You're not going to be able to do anything on that type of level. You'd have to get a general consensus from the whole, like all supporters globally, to just say something. And Terry's alluded to it on the terrace where he said, just stop supporting. Don't go to the games. Don't do this. You're never going to be able to go and do that because.
What's all this about now with Liverpool fans? They've got a say in what happens. A say. We say a say. We don't know who's representing us. We don't know who it is. But apparently there are fans now that are part of the board, part of the system, that have a say in everything that goes on at Liverpool.
It's the Spirit of Shankly organisation. So they've obviously they have been appointed at board level as fan representatives. Now that poses an issue. Yeah, on the surface it looks great. It's like, yeah, you get fans now, they get to have a say. Who did these fans represent? What are the motives of these fans? You got some fans that are FSG, and as we're talking about now, some are FSG out. You get some fans that are Klopp in, some fans that are Klopp out. You can't generalize fans because every fan experience is different. So how do you truly represent the fans?
I got a different feeling because how much did they buy Liverpool for, by the way?
300 million.
Yeah.
300. All right, 300 million. So 300
billion.
million. Now, how much is Liverpool worth today?
4 billion. They said they would sell it for 4 billion now. Like that's the market value.
That's the valuation. That's what it will be valued as.
Yeah. So 4 billion is the valuation that they will sell it at, right?
Mm-hmm.
So from 500 million, wherever it cost, and then now it's worth 4 billion. Now that's sensational business, regardless. That's going to set you up for a long time.
100%.
Think about longevity as well. When you think about it, Man United, we can generate a lot of money, right?
Yeah.
It's interesting because if you get it, then you don't even have to really put in your own money if you run it successfully. But in terms of what's already winning on the pitch, what's already winning off the pitch, and what's already got a good infrastructure, who would you rather buy? Liverpool right now or Man United? I think Liverpool's more accessible and more achievable than getting Man United right now. And it goes to show there is billionaires out there that are willing to come and spend a little bit of dosh.
If you look at United, that's a project as well. You can increase and generate a lot more if you just upgrade the stadium, if you start doing things with the facilities, improve the team, start winning more. There's a lot more potential with United, whereas Liverpool right now were more or less the finished product minus success on the field. So if you're an investor, why would you come into Liverpool? Because your stocks might crash. If you don't do what you're meant to do, your stocks might crash. Whereas United, it's perfect because you're still a big club. You still can generate that revenue. But if you get success on the field, wow, you'll be worth. I don't even want to estimate.
And remember, the way that FSG have run it since day one is the way that we don't like it at this current moment in time. So if someone else is to come in now, are they going to run it like FSG have run it? Are they going to be making these shrewd signings, these 30, 40 million pound signings, which keeps us somewhat competitive on the football pitch? They might not see it like that. And that's what FSG have been able to do. We've also had Jurgen Klopp, which I think is probably 90% of the factor as to why we are in this position at this current moment in time. Once Klopp leaves...
Well, I wouldn't like to think so. I'm going to take it back a little bit, G. Klopp wanted a couple other players from Dortmund. Yeah. He wanted Brandt and stuff. And then your transfer man said, no, we're going to go get Mane and Salah.
Yeah, you can pick out the two. I get that out of the, 8 that he's probably signed who have been, well, as we see now, like somewhat top level / world class. I get that. But the reality is, without Klopp, we wouldn't even be in this position. 100%. I don't think any other manager comes in.
Do you know what it is though? We talk about getting these owners and stuff. Klopp speaks openly about, and has spoken openly about the fact once he's got to go and spend 100 million on a player, he's never going to go and do this. So he seems to be a type of man that's got these types of morals, right? Yeah. If we, in a hypothetical scenario, if Liverpool were to go and just FSG sell up, and another Saudi consortium comes and tries to buy Liverpool, yeah, who's to say Klopp even wants to work under those constraints? Because every time he talks about FSG, he doesn't go to criticize. He says, "This is the way it is, and look what we've done. We've won in this model." You don't sign an extension whilst also complaining about the situation and the scenario that you're in. It just doesn't make sense. He signed the extension knowing that these are on the premise that there are these parameters in the club. So look, as much as we want to go and talk about FSG and stuff, You're talking about a man that's head of it and that isn't coming out and criticizing and saying like what's Conte's done in the past and saying I'm leaving the club if I don't get this and that. He's accepting of these premises. So you got to be accepting of the fact that at the end of the day, if something doesn't work out, it's your head on the line. It's not FSG's. Do you know what I mean? No matter, of course, you can look at it and be like, FSG should back him, they should do this, they should do that. But it's like with the Scott Parker situation. Scott Parker knew the deal when he came out. He knew the deal when he came to Bournemouth. He knew that they weren't going to have money. He knew that. Once they got promoted, you think, do you know what I mean? They didn't try to start getting in transfers and sorting out for next season. Of course they did. He knew what the parameters were, seen the couple of results, and now he's going and jumping out, throwing the prams at the trolley and saying, "Oh yeah, you know what I mean?" It's just it doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense like that. You've got to look at it as a package, in my opinion. You can't just blame one individual entity. Like it just doesn't make sense.
100%. I wanted to ask you three this year, because obviously I know how you guys obviously feel about Klopp and stuff like that. All right. Let's say in a hypothetical world, I don't think it's going to happen, but let's just say it does. Let's say we win the Premier League. Does your attitude change towards the way we run? I'm just playing devil's advocate.
Trophies always change everybody's attitude, isn't it? Like
no, but but the thing is, Ash, that's like it's too simple because it's like how do you want to win trophies? So
I think
you can't go and criticize FSG really for where Liverpool are because they're part of the reason why that is. They hired Klopp. They've hired the likes of Michael Edwards and Julian Ward that were able to go and get these signings and all the parameters, the structures that enable Liverpool to be what Liverpool are. They're the ones that are in control of that. So you've got to give them credit for that. Thing is, though, is like, I mean, you know what, Ash? You might have a point.
Whoa, hey, what time was that? 36 minutes. JJ, honestly, that was so. I can't lie, JJ. Don't take this as any way, but that was adorable, bro. That was adorable. Like the way he's just. I know that pain. I know it. When you're saying so much and you're just deep and you're like, you know what?
No, but do you know what it is? But do you know what it is?
Right.
We're saying we're winning. Look, no, I'm not gonna have that because look, we're saying we're winning, but like if the club feel they can go and win, they can go and win, and it's like a cycle, isn't it? So that if we stay competitive throughout our tenure at the club, and we might not win every year, but we win every 2 or 3 years, right? Is that more beneficial to the success of Liverpool, or is it better to go and win 3 years on the bounce and then have a mad decline where you don't win for another 10, 15 years and then you've got to climb back up again? Because that's the problem you've got really. Because
I get what you're saying, because I think what you're saying is it changes the fact that our words don't pack a punch anymore. Look at what's happened at the beginning of this season. Everybody at the beginning of the season, when we were going on about things are changing at Liverpool, this isn't right, people were like, look, we've just got we're just en route to get a quadruple. So your words mean nothing. 3 games in, everybody started coming. Jerry James' show started improving, didn't it, Jerry James? Because, look, people are listening to what you're saying because it's true. Now, if we win trophies, all that happens is our opinion stays the same, but people don't want to buy into that because we've won a trophy. And I know the most important thing is trophies at the end of the day, but we can see a trend. And it's like you've just said, are we just there to compete every season? Or are we going to be like Man City are? And are we going to come into the season expecting trophies? Because I don't expect trophies at Liverpool now. What I do is I think, you know what, we could win. We'll be close. We'll be there or thereabouts. Man City know going into a season they're going to come out with some silverware. They don't know what it's going to be, but they know they're going to come out with 1, 2 trophies every season. And that's what we want at Liverpool.
And I think that's the issue that we're having, is that it's almost like we're having to battle against our own fans, but at the same time battle against, some rival fans as well, because it's almost like that. Okay, well, you guys, you haven't won a league title. You hadn't won a league title for 30 years. This guy's come in and won a league title. He won a Champions League, even though Rafa Benitez has also done the same thing. So again, I'm looking at it and I'm sitting there thinking to myself, I don't understand. Are we not allowed to even sit there and say, you know what? I'm not asking for Toni Kroos, Luka Modric, all of these kind of players. That I'm not asking for that, even that quality or even that level of players. What we're even asking for is just to be as competitive as Manchester City. That can be done in various different ways. It could be done through style. It could be done through transfers. It could be done through player sales, potentially. It could be done through so many different ways. But the way that we're doing it currently, I feel that FSG, the board, are just looking at it and thinking, for them, on a business side of things, as we just said, they bought the club for 300 million. We're worth 4 billion right now. Do you realistically think they're looking at the situation and thinking, yeah, we need to kind of improve on this? Why would you? From a business side of things, why the hell would you? I would just kind of keep things the same. If I could keep things the same while still spending the amount that we are spending, why would I change it? Why would I change it?
Yeah.
Do you get what I'm trying to say? So it's like, then looking at it from, obviously, we're just fans at the end of the day. I'm not no expert. I don't have the ins and outs like some people do. But as a fan, I'm looking at it and I'm thinking to myself, as Ash said, I'm sick of going into a season and it's constant. We could win something. Even the year that we won the Premier League, I didn't think we was going to win the Premier League. It was just, we ended up being so consistent that we won the Premier League.
I've got a question, quick one as well, yeah. Do you reckon signing Núñez currently was the wrong choice as well? Do you reckon you highlighted the centre mid in Tchouaméni first and foremost? You could have got 2 top quality centre mids to address that area, or you could have got somebody else that could have probably done. I get Núñez is a purchase for the future. He's young. I get that. But could you have not got a top quality centre mid for half that price and pretty much on a striker market? I know it's looking weak, but with Liverpool's, I do wonder what other options Liverpool were also looking at. I don't think you needed a proper number 9 out and out anyways. Accommodating Salah is just striker, bro. You need someone that can, like a Firmino back in there. You could have got tons of players like that, man. There's a few players that could do that job.
I think that depends.
It's just a question though for anyone in the comments as well.
Yeah, I think that depends though, because it's what direction do the club want to go in. So do the club want to carry on playing the same style that they did with a false 9, having Salah inverted forwards, out to in runs and all that type of stuff? Or is that getting kind of found out by, by you seeing the results from last season, the fact that teams are even beginning this season sitting proper deep and just able to soak up pressure and catch us on the counter? Us having a Diaz changes up the scope of how we go and do things. And that's more important than going and getting a midfielder, because the midfielder gives you legs and allows you to do what you're currently doing. But if you look at it on the basis, what we're currently doing is not working in terms of winning the big trophies consistently.
I can give you 2 players that you could have definitely have done 100% as well to get that would improve your squad right now off the bat.
Go on.
Inter Milan need to sell. Yeah, you could have got yourself a Lautaro Martinez and also a Barella for the combined fee of 85 million or 90 million. That's a fact. So Lautaro Martinez would have suited your team a lot more.
Yeah,
he's not mad in goals, but he will create you a lot. And then Barella is Barella, bro. They know each other, and they would have sold for 40 million. And you could go ask Moman, who's a big Inter Milan fan, would have said they need to sell somebody. They didn't sell Skriniar in the end, so you could have got a Barella. You still can, and you could have had a Lautaro Martinez. Yeah. Maybe okay. Let's say that Lautaro Martinez is a bit outpriced now. There's another one you could have got. And I know he's only at West Ham right now, but I feel like you could have done with the target, man. I feel like you could have done with the target, man. Scamacca, bro. I think he would have suited you, man, a lot, man. It gives you
bring up that quote that I just I was talking about, because it goes to the point that you're actually even talking about. Obviously, Klopp's
everyone see that.
Yeah. Are we after a midfielder? Ish. Closer we get to last minute, more like you couldn't give us a name. It's difficult because for sure there are a few who are right, but there are different issues, clubs who don't want to sell. That's just how it is. What we're hearing from Klopp is that term. You just mentioned Barella, Lautaro Martinez, and Scamacca. Now, we can probably, us three, sit here and probably say, yeah, I agree with you. Everything you just said there, 100%. But they don't look at it like that. They never have looked at it like that. The term that we've been getting constantly throughout the summer is the right player, the right player, the right player, the right player. So as much as, and this is where I start to think,
they don't know who the right player is, G. They don't know.
Yeah, and anyone that doesn't
knowledge even up there, because Kaz just said Barella. I would have said Barella time ago. I would have said Martinez time ago.
They suit the system, and why I say the valuation is there is because people saying in the comments, by the way, that I don't know my valuations. Go do your research. Their owner has just been taken to court and a lot of money has been taken out. This is not my own information. This is from the Inter Milan supporters. Go talk to them. They need to sell someone. Remember how much Skriniar was going to go for PSG? We're talking top defender. Not a lot of money, bro. They were looking at 30, 35 million for him. For Skriniar, they need to sell. They really do need to balance out the books. They just got Lukaku on loan with the option to buy for a big amount as well. They need to sell. So that's what I'm saying. When it comes to Serie A players, you go look into it a little bit more. The TV rights deals of the Serie A for this season alone going forward is a lot less than what they had in previous years. Go do your research. That's what I'm saying. That's where the valuation comes from. Barella is actually a £40 million player. To us, he's not a £40 million player. He's probably 100 million, 80 million, 70 million pound player. But to them, they need to sell a lot more. This is what I'm saying. Skriniar 35 million. That's absurd. Now, you lot was looking at Brozovic. How much was you going to get Brozovic for, by the way? What was he calling that? I'll tell you again. 35, 40 million. Their valuations ain't so high. That's what I'm saying. Imagine you got Brozovic and Barella. Now, you were talking.
Yeah, but the thing
is, that's crazy.
No, that's facts. But the problem is, I think we look at it from a fan's perspective, innit? And we look at it and we're like, yeah, we want that player. Get him in. He's just good. He's a good player. The way Liverpool do stuff, Klopp's got to meet your mum and your dad. They've got to research, make sure that your family come from a good family, make sure that there's no situation that with a Pogba deal and that your brother's going to take you. All of those type of stuff they look into. They have to make sure that you're the right fit, that you fit in with the squad that's currently here. Klopp in the press conference itself spoke about how look what we got here. The players that we've got here, we want to go and work with them. They're still important to us. He says that this summer was the hardest for him because he had to let a lot of players go. He said it was the most ruthless he ever had to be. So Klopp's the team, the club's not that way inclined to go and be like, yeah, you know what? Get rid of these people. Do you know what I mean? It's a lot of people talking about it here in the chat. Sentimental. That's what it is. It's, oh no, look, I mean, look what Ox gave us before he got injured. Oh, look at Kate. Oh, look what he could give us. Don't get rid of him. We can't go and get a Barella or Brozovic. Of course, these are names that we would love to go and have at our club, but we know Liverpool are never ever targeted.
Brozovic and Quadio, look, Brozovic, Quadio, Kone would have got you to combine, I would say, £60 million as well. That's again, and then there's 25 million you could have spent a little bit more as well, since you got a bit more funds on another top striker, just not Nunes. I don't think Nunes suits Salah, bro. I'm going to be real. He really don't. This Salah out on the wing thing, this Salah right on the touchline thing, it don't make sense.
We say that, Kaz. We say that, though, Kaz. But Salah's created the most chances in the Prem already this season with 15 over De Bruyne's 13. Yeah, and
but you're changing up. I get that, but you're changing up his main game.
But that's the whole point. His main game, although he's got us goals, and it's very simple to look at and be like, this brother got us goals, so of course you want him to carry on getting goals. Cool. But does that allow you to go and beat a City? Do you know what I mean? Just because Lukaku bags goals, just because Lukaku bagged goals at United, it didn't allow him to go and take you to that next level. And that's
I'm telling you now, though. But we all knew the limitations between Lukaku and Lukaku being at a Chelsea team where I think even us fans knew it wouldn't work. Barella,
no, but even at United, because at United he still got goals. He still got goals, but it meant the lacks of the other players weren't able to go and play their best game. So
are you telling me Barella suits you, man, to a T? It's mad if you got him. I'll cry.
I'd agree it does, but the problem is the club are in a situation where they're trying to bring down the average age of the team. At the same time, we're trying to play the way that we have done with this whole pressing situation and running, but we get rid of a Gini Wijnaldum that really epitomizes that. And we bring in a Thiago that's only available for 25 games, but he's the silkiest player on the pitch. So now he's become our system, but we still want Bobby to press, but Bobby can't press the way he does anymore. But we buy in a Nunes, but then still play this. What we're doing is that we're caught in between playing this old type of system that we've had and trying to transition to be able to be more unpredictable. And we've seen it when Nunes came on in a couple games that, we didn't go and get wins in them, but the draws that we got and stuff, or even in the Community Shield, who made the damage? It was Nunes. Why? Not because he was some technically well-gifted player and he made that massive difference. It was something that that other opposing teams didn't know how to deal with, because it was hold on, we're used to this. Used to Bobby Firmino dropping deep, and our centre backs are it's easy to go and have everything in front of us. Now we've got a brother behind us, and that's what Liverpool are caught in between, playing this kind of pressing system. But teams are sitting back now, so we have to have another dynamic, and we're seeing that. But facts, Barella, I mean, I'd have loads of players in it.
Do you know what it is? At first of all, everyone, big up Never a Foul. Hit those likes in this show, because we're bringing you some honest opinions. You don't get that very often from Liverpool fans. After a 9-0 victory as well, we're still saying there's issues at the club. So hit the likes for that, because we're giving you honest opinion. What I'd say is, everything we're talking about now is all hindsight. It would have been good bringing all these players in. Would have been good bringing Barella and all. The truth is, we've got Núñez, and we're saying, is Núñez a good enough signing for Liverpool? I think Núñez is. And the fact of that is, if we brought Barella in instead of Núñez, what we're going to do? We're just going to play the same system. We all know that it's a system problem at Liverpool. But because we've brought Núñez in, if we don't get another midfielder now, if we start playing the way we played in those first 3 games, the only option is to change the system to suit Darwin Núñez, which would suit the type of player we've got at Liverpool much, much more. Look at last game. We played a 4-2-2-2. We played a box system in the middle, so Elliott and Firmino could pick up those spaces, and that's when we were more creative. It was a system change why we won 9-0. It wasn't a 4-3-3.
And guess what? And guess who's the best at 4-2-2-2? As in the best pressing player in Europe, by the way. This man right here. This man right here. Plays that to a T.
And this is what I was even going to touch on, is that we've just said Barella. We were talking about Martinez. These are, in our opinion, these are the higher echelons of players. These are more the top level players. I wouldn't call Conrad Laimer a top level player. I would say he's probably still coming up to potentially that level. So again,
that's why he's perfect in a way.
But exactly. But this is it. We as fans are looking at a Barella because that's what, in an ideal world, we'd rather have a Barella in our team because he's a top level player. Why wouldn't you want to have him in your team? Liverpool, the board, don't look at it like that. Again, we've got Newcastle tomorrow, and we saw up against Bournemouth, who came off the bench. Bajcetic, Bobby Clark. We had Carvalho and Harvey Elliott, all young players. All you know what I mean? All of these young players who are now seemingly going to get their chance in the squad. So I'll even put it to you both like this. It's looking like the transfer window is going to end. We ain't going to sign anybody. So I don't even want to keep crying on about it as we have been doing. If we don't sign anybody, what do you guys want to see from the team moving forward? Even against Newcastle tomorrow. I
just want to see youngsters playing the game. Like, if you're not going to sign anybody,
do you want to see youngsters realistically play?
Yeah, if Thiago's not, obviously Thiago is the key to what we do. If Thiago is not available, Milner, as much as Milner runs, as much as he's a solid player, why are we using him? I'd rather lose now, G, and see some kind of destination towards the future, giving people a chance. Why bring Carvalho in if you're not going to start him? Why start Milner over Carvalho when you've brought him in for the future? Milner's not going to be, well, I say Milner's not going to be the future. He's probably got a 4-year contract. But, like, we need to see young players come in. Fabinho needs a rest. Let Bajcetic do his job because he's not shown that he's not capable. So let him come in and do a job because Naby Keita's shown us on occasions he's not capable. Jones has shown us on occasions. Ox is in Wonderland. Like I said, Alex in Wonderland. So we need to start playing these young players. That's what I want to see if we don't sign him. I don't know about you, JJ.
Wait till let me do
it. I agree, man. Just to echo what you're saying, just play the youngsters. For me, it's like our Milner is a combination of Milner, Henderson, or Elliott and Fabinho. Is that going to go and win you a Prem?
I don't think so. It's not good enough for me.
Exactly, it's not good enough, right? So if there's a consensus between us four saying that we're not, I mean, like Liverpool can't win the Prem with that thing, then is there a difference between us finishing second or fourth?
No.
Well, I still think you've got much more in the bag than most teams to finish second. We got a Tottenham's trying to glue. You got an Arsenal who's gluing. You've got a Chelsea a bit all over the place at the moment.
Oh, 100%. And then that's what I'm saying.
You know what I mean?
But what I'm saying is there a difference? Although on paper it looks like that, is there a difference between finishing second and fourth? From a footballing perspective,
it's not a trophy, is it? So who cares?
That's what I'm saying. There's not a trophy, and then you get a Champions League. So I believe playing in Elliott and playing a Carvalho with our system, we can still get top four with that team. So you might as well play these brothers because the season afterwards, they've already got that experience in them. They've gotten Champions League. They've played Champions League football. They're a more experienced player. Do you know what I mean? Than playing a Milner and not playing these guys, not giving these guys games, and then they come to the age of 22, 23, 24, 25, and you're looking at them thinking, oh, yeah, they're still a young player. They're still, do you know what I mean? bedding in. We're still waiting for them to do. I mean, get a run of games, and Klopp doesn't trust them, and that whole type of notion. It's silly. It's silly. It's like
so. Quick one. I make sure you're liking the video, guys. Just double check that you've liked it. 120 likes. Big up everyone that's in here. So do just double check, man. Honestly, it helps the channel go a long way. And do check out the channels down below in the description. Just press more if you're on your phones. If you press more, it will click you over to either Ash on Klopp Zone or Jerry on his own show called the Jerry James Show, where you see a lot of G as well. So G's a bit here, there, and everywhere doing his bit for Liverpool fans and well, for himself, I suppose. But yeah, man. What do you guys want to see against Newcastle, though? Like, honestly, you're saying youngsters. They got no Saint Maximan. They got no Bruno Guimaraes either, as what I'm hearing. So what we say, I'm here. It's a 3-0.
3-0, 3 points.
3-0, 3 points.
I need consistency now. Like, it's all great. We won 9-0 and stuff. Considering Maximan's, a doubt. If you don't play, if Callum Wilson don't play, if Guimaraes don't play.
He's not playing. He's not playing.
Guaranteed.
He's not playing.
No, Callum Wilson's out for like another 2.5 weeks, bro.
Yeah, Callum Wilson's out.
That guy is always injured.
Yeah, brother. Then I expect 3 points and 3-0. There needs to be consistency now.
Well, how would you man feel if Firmino scores again? Revival of his career, maybe he might have gone to have a good season.
No,
Think about why I say that. It's because the Brazilian squad World Cup might have my motivation.
And I ask you, Jay, I ask you, JJ, if Firmino starts scoring, right? If he scores, say, 2 goals next game, can you realistically take him out? If we have look how we performed this last game. If we perform the same against Newcastle, Bobby scores 2. You can't just ship him out for Nunes because the team are obviously playing better. Do you know what I mean? What do you wait for?
If we win 3-0 and Bobby scores again, or is a massive part and carries on to be a massive part, then great. Long may it continue. It means that we've got competition. Do you know what I mean? In the starting lineup, when Jota comes back, when Nunes comes back, it means we've got depth back again. And then obviously in the summer, we're going to have to strengthen again because I still don't think he goes and propels us to win the title. I don't think him being on form means that it's not, do you know what I mean, Messi coming on form where he's going to score 50 goals or when Salah comes onto form. Like, his all-round gameplay will be good. But does that go and, win you titles and win you Champions Leagues? Of course not. He's on his last legs. Like, of course he's got a performance in him. So, yeah, having him in the squad is great. If he's on form, you play. That's the way.
You'd agree as well. You'd rather see Nunes from the bench than Bobby coming from the bench as well.
Oh yeah, facts. I think Bobby from the bench doesn't offer you anything. Bobby
Chelsea are sickos, bro.
What's that?
Oh, he's going to Chelsea. Wow.
No, so Chelsea are in advanced talks with RB Leipzig to sign Josko Gvardiol for fuck's sake. Deal would be completed now, but with Gvardiol staying at Leipzig, joined Chelsea in 2000. Guess how much for, by the way? £75 million. £75 million.
And they just bought Wesley for
Man United are ruining the market, by the way. Just saying, for these defenders, like, we made our mistake with Maguire. We made that mistake, bro. We're not spending, bro. That's 2 left-footed centre backs, by the way. Now, well, actually, no. Have they got a left-footed one? Technically, Kukurea is right. It's right. Technically, they don't have one. Kukurea of Max. But yeah, that's all I wanted to say. I was like, what the fucking bastards, man.
Look, we can sit here and the transfer window is going to end in 2 days anyway. I don't see us signing anybody. I think you can, all 4 of us here can agree. We ain't going to sign anybody between now and the ending of the transfer window. So again, the question I wanted to ask is, who do we look at in this situation? Because the reality is I'm not just trying to blame someone for the sake of blaming, but who are we going to look at if we don't sign any players and subsequently don't go and win the league or the Champions League, the 2 trophies that we obviously ultimately want to win?
FSG. That's it.
So I ran a poll, by the way, just to wrap up before I do on the hour mark. Guys, obviously I ran a poll, FSG, in or out, 56% are out. And I'm going to tell you probably more so are Liverpool fans, and the ones that are in could be a couple Liverpool fans, I'm going to guess, and obviously rival fans at that. But we're going to wrap up there. Obviously, big up to the panel for coming on, G hosting as well. Big up, man, came prepared. Obviously, JJ coming in from work, getting in, doing more than what Roms can, even though he's been around and he decided to sleep it off instead. Too much wine and grinding on a carnival bus stop. No. But yeah, man, obviously, go check out Jerry James down below. If someone can actually, you know what, before we do that, let me check. I need to check the links. 1 sec. Someone post them. Someone post Jerry James show and a thingy. You lot need to go check them out. If you're a Liverpool fan, go check them out. It's not hard. Right there. Jerry James right there. Also, 1 sec. Be more prepared than this, shouldn't I?
Happens, man. Organic, innit?
Speedy Gonzalez. And also, if you are in here, please go and harass a gal. He's literally live right now. And if you stand the video, it'll go over to a gal's channel. Just go harass him because Arsenal pissed me off. Arsenal probably pissed all you man off. So just go annoy him. Yeah, man. But obviously, check out the descriptions. Obviously, it's right there, the Jerry James show, and you'll see anybody else's as well. Klopp Zone doing big things. And hopefully they're actually emerging onto the scene quite quickly, more than I thought. But yeah, man. Big up to all of you. Anything else you might want to say?
3 points tomorrow. That's all I care about right now.
Hopefully you lose.
Oh, that's so nice, guys.
Fuck Liverpool, bro.
We ain't losing. Jump over to Klopp Zone later today, 7 p.m. We're going to break down the stats from the last game. We're going to look forward to the Newcastle game. So come and join us on there. Some really good stats as well from our stat man in the team, Jack at Anfield Analytics. Check that out. It's going to be a good one.
All right, big up, man. Big up. And obviously, football later on as well, man. Hopefully Chelsea lose.
See?